So let's begin with some neck circles. Imagine that you have a paintbrush attached to the top of your head, and you're going to paint very small circles, like the size of a quarter, on the ceiling, going very slowly and gradually making those circles larger as you feel the muscles in your neck opening up and allowing that movement. And then gradually we're going to make those circles smaller and come to stillness and then change direction. So again, you have this little paintbrush on top of your head and you're painting quarters and then maybe silver dollars and then something a little larger and gradually coming to center. Let's roll the shoulders next. So you're going to inhale as you bring your shoulders forward and up. Exhale as you bring them back and down. Inhale the shoulders forward and up. Exhale back and down. One more time. Inhaling forward and up. Exhaling back and down. For this next pose, you're going to take a block and you're going to hold the block in your hands like this, and you're going to press into the block. As you inhale, raise the block up above you. And as you exhale, lengthen the spine and then lean out over to one side. Inhale to center, still pressing into that block. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale to center and still pressing on those blocks for some extra strengthening. Gradually lower the block. Relax the shoulders, relax the elbows, and concentrate on moving one finger at a time. So let's start with the index finger, and you're just going to make little circles with the index fingers. And then you're going to go the other way. And then you're going to work on the middle finger. It's a little bit harder with the fingers that are inside. The other fingers want to move, and they will, and that's okay. And then go in the other direction. And then the ring finger. And go in the other direction. And pinky. And go in the other direction. And the thumb, that's much easier, of course. And go in the other direction. And let's shake everything out. For this next, you may want to have a block in front of you just to make things easier. You're going to inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. As you exhale, sweep the arms out and down, bend at the hips, bend at the knees, fold forward. Hands can find the block or maybe the mat. Bending the knees and the hips. Now inhaling, straighten arms, legs, and spine. Coming up halfway. Your head still looking down at the mat to protect your neck. Exhale, bend the knees and bend the hips again. And now let's come down to squat and sit on the mat. So with your hands out to the sides, inhale and raise one arm out to the side and up. As you exhale, bring the arm across the body and down. And then brush the backs of the fingers on the mat and do it again. Inhale out and up. Exhale across and down. And one more time. Inhale out and up. As you exhale, bring it across and down. Now let's do the other side. Inhale, reach the arm out and up. Exhale, bring it across and down. I love this pose or this movement because it's kind of a side stretch and a twist in one. And let's do that one more time. Inhale up, exhale across and down. Good. Then bend one knee, bringing that foot on the mat, and bring your hands behind the thigh. So inhale and raise that foot just a little bit and make circles with the ankle. Keeping your back nice and tall, pull the belly into the spine. Let's change direction. And then point and flex and point and flex and stretch the toes wide. Let them have some freedom and scrunch the toes and stretch and scrunch. And now without moving the leg, you're just going to turn the sole of your foot toward the inside of the mat and then turn the sole of your foot to the outside of the mat. This is a great movement for strengthening the ankle and also the arch of the foot. And place that back down and let's switch. So sitting nice and tall, pull the belly in, inhale, lift that leg just a little bit. And let's begin to circle the ankle. And circle the other way. And point and flex, and point and flex. And now pointing the sole of the foot toward the inside of the mat and the sole of the foot toward the outside of the mat. This is challenging. We don't usually do this movement in daily life, but it really is wonderful for strengthening the ankle and the arches. So now we're going to come back down to hands and knees. When I do hands and knees poses, I like to have a blanket under my knees. You could place the heels of the hands on the blanket and the fingers on the mat. You could make fists, or you could have forearms on blocks. It is your choice. Whatever you decide to do. We're going to bring the knees a little bit wider apart. Inhale, pull the belly into the spine. As you exhale, bring your chest down toward the mat. As you inhale, sweep the chest out to the side and up, rounding the spine at the top. Exhaling, come out to the other side and down. And let's do that again. Inhale to the side and up, round the spine. Exhale to the other side and down. And let's switch direction. Inhale to the other side and up, rounding the spine. Exhale out to the side and down. Inhale out to the side and up. Exhale out to the side and down. So now let's curl the toes under and just begin to bring your hips a little bit back toward the heels until you feel a stretch in the soles of the feet. We don't have to put a lot of pressure on the feet. Just want to feel a little bit of a stretch, and you can have some weight in your hands, that's fine. And then we're going to continue bringing our weight back over the feet, coming into a squat if that's available to you. You can stay here for a moment. And then we're going to straighten the knees, coming into a forward fold. Place the hands on the thighs, press into the floor to come up to standing. And now we're going to remove the blanket. And let's shake the wrists out a little bit since we were putting some pressure on the hands. So let's just make some figure 8 forms with the hands, releasing the wrists. And let's go the other way. That's a little trickier. Sometimes I think about my pinkies leading the action and the rest of my hand following. Nice. And now let's come to the top of the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, bring one foot behind you. The front foot faces forward and the back foot is on a slight diagonal. You're going to raise the arms up shoulder height. The hips are pointing a little bit on the diagonal. As you exhale, you're going to bend the front knee as far as you want to take it. You don't have to bend deeply. Here we are in Warrior Two. Press into the outside of the back foot and feel the energy coming up the leg and all the way through the spine and out the crown of the head. Now let's turn the front hand palm up. Inhale and begin to bring your weight back. Notice that only the top of my body is moving and the bottom is staying pretty steady. Peaceful warrior. Now I'm going to come back on an inhalation to Warrior Two, and I'm going to continue that forward movement until my front arm is resting ever so lightly on my front thigh. And my top arm can be at my ear. It could also be up to the sky. It could also be hands, fingertips on shoulders if that's what works for you. And then inhaling, come back up to that warrior two. And exhale, come to the top of the mat. And let's do the other side. Inhale, exhale, bring the other foot behind you. Establish your stability before we do anything else. And then inhale, bring the arms to shoulder height. Exhaling, bend that front knee. And now let's turn the front hand palm up and begin to bring the upper body toward the back. Back hand comes to rest lightly on the back leg. Inhaling, let's come back up to warrior two. Exhale, continue that forward movement coming into side angle pose. Remember, the front arm rests without any weight on that front leg because you're holding yourself up. Very strong inner thighs, strong core muscles holding you here. Inhale back up to warrior two, and exhaling, come up to the top of the mat. Let's inhale the arms up, exhale, sweep them down and around, bend the hips, bend the knees, folding forward. Come once again to sit. I'm Rachel. Hope to see you soon.